Good morning. Thank you for being here. My name's Carly Rice. I'm our sustainability coordinator. Welcome to the second session this semester of our sustainability coffee chats. If you are a returning guest, thank you for being here. If you are new to this program, thanks for checking it out. I think today is a great topic and a chance to hear from some of our folks in parking and transportation here on campus and learn a bit more about transit and the sustainable options that we have on campus. Some exciting things coming up, any connections with
Oh my gosh,
our
no.
climate action plan. Kendra, did you need anything?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Oh, okay. Sorry, just heard something. Okay, wonderful. Well, with that, we are going to, let me get to another slide here. We are going to turn it over to four members of our PTS team, Parking and Transportation. We have Larry, Nick, John, Mark, and Lonetta all with us today. Should have a wealth of knowledge on transit. So with that, I will turn it over to you guys. And we will save some time at the end just for some informal discussion. So take it away. I will stop my share.
Yeah, thank you, Carly. Thanks for having us this morning. I'm just going to get my screen share going here in a minute. Sec here. Are you guys all able to see the PowerPoint okay? Awesome.
Yep.
Um, yeah, so hi everyone. Like Carly said, we're here to talk about transit today. Thanks for joining us. So at Parking and Transportation Services, our vision is to enhance your way around the university with multimodal, innovative transportation solutions. And one of the biggest ways we do that is through our transit programs, which play a major part in seeing that vision, as well as being one of the most sustainable ways you can travel. So just a few things about us. So you have me, I'm the Strategic Communications Manager for Parking and Transportation Services. I'm also going to be joined here by Lonetta Hanson, our Assistant Director of Administration and Chief of Staff, John Mark Lucas, who is our Transportation Programs Manager, and Larry Stromberg, who is our Transit Manager. Today we'll cover on and off campus transit, our transit pass programs, transit tools and safety, and then we'll have some time for questions at the end. So please feel free to pop any questions into the chat at any time and I will circle back to them at the end. The first thing I wanted to start out with was just a little bit of connecting some dots. So that photo on the right, you'll notice two types of transit signs. The top maroon and gold is for our on-campus transit routes, and the bottom is metro transit routes. So just so you're aware, there are a couple different types, but we'll get into all of those today. Um, I'm now going to pass it on to Larry Stromberg to talk about our on-campus transit.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here today. And I'm going to kind of walk through our on-campus transit. Some of this may be things that you know already, but I'm just going to start from a very basic level and just kind of walk through our different routes. We have 6 different routes that run on campus. We operate service on Sunday through Wednesday from 7 a.m. until midnight. And then on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we operate service until 2 a.m. Some of our routes run long, some of them end at 6 o'clock. All of that information can be found on our website or on the Gopher Trip app. And we really encourage people to use the Gopher Trip app. It'll allow you to see where the buses are and to get information about the routes. And if you do download that app, make sure you turn your notifications on so that we can notify you. This is the East Bank Circulator. The East Bank Circulator basically serves Superblock and some of the parking lots around campus. And you can see each of those stops there on the East Bank Circulator. East Bank Circulator runs from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Next route is, this is our main route. I would imagine most of you have probably ridden the Campus Connector. Campus Connector connects St. Paul, East Bank, and West Bank. During the day, if you go all the way from one end of the Campus Connector, which would be from St. Paul to Blagan or from Blagan to St. Paul, it's a 25-minute trip during the day to get from one end of from the St. Paul campus to West Bank. So 50 minutes round trip. During the week from Monday through Friday, Campus Connector is running 5 minutes apart. So obviously that can get a little bit out of sync because of traffic or weather or that kind of stuff. But as far as schedule is concerned, Campus Connector is scheduled to arrive every 5 minutes. Next route is the University Avenue Circulator. This goes from West Bank to East Bank and back again. And you can see how it runs in leaving from Carlson School, going across the 10th Avenue Bridge down University Avenue and back across Washington Avenue. So the University Circulator runs in a clockwise direction. If you look at the next route, the 123, the 123 runs in a counterclockwise direction. So it leaves from Carlson School, goes to Bleegan, heads east on Washington Avenue, and then comes back the other direction and goes back to Carlson School. The next route is serving the St. Paul campus. This is our St. Paul Circulator. It leaves from the St. Paul Student Center every 20 minutes, goes to the Bell Museum, comes back, goes down Gortner, across Como Avenue, back up Cleveland, and just kind of circulates people around the St. Paul campus. Our newest route is the 125. This is what we call the Dinkytown Connector. And we put this route in place this year. This is the first year running this route. The strategy behind that is just trying to serve Dinkytown with all the housing growth that's taking place over there and so forth. So this is basically just a quick way to get from Dinkytown to West Bank and back and forth. So those are our regular campus routes. I mentioned the Gopher Trip app. This is what the Gopher Trip app looks like on your phone and on your computer. You can track the buses either on your desktop or on your phone. And as you can see, it'll show you where the buses are. Up in the upper left-hand corner of the Gopher Trip app, there's a place where you can choose whether you want to look at all the routes at the same time or if you want to just pick one route out and follow what's happening there. So even though the buses are scheduled to leave at certain times, there's a lot of different factors that we run into that may throw things a little bit out of sync at certain times of the day. Class break especially is a busy time. It's hard for us to keep spaced out like we want to, but if you're watching the app, you should be able to see when that next bus is coming. And another service that we provide here on campus is a paratransit service. This operates Monday through Friday from first trip is at 7:20, last trip is at 9:20. And for anybody that finds it difficult to use public transportation because Uh, maybe because of a long-term disability, maybe somebody that uses a mobility device on a regular basis, or we have athletes that tear a ligament and need to get back and forth to class. Paratransit is how we get people curb to curb at over 300 locations around campus. So if you look at these locations, these are all ADA compliant locations where we can either pick up or drop off. Uh, Paratransit right now is a kind of a reservation system. You go online to our website and you can book a ride, and you just put in the time of day, where you want to go, where you want to be picked up, where you want to get dropped off, and you can you can schedule it right there online. If you're trying to If somebody's trying to book a paratransit ride on the same day, you'll have to call us on the phone and do it here through PTS. But other than that, just go to our website, paratransit, on the website, and you can book your rides right there. We also have public transit here on campus that coordinates along with our campus service. So Metro Transit operates routes here on campus, as well as express routes that come in from Southwest Transit or MBTA, Plymouth Metrolink. So we have 8 local routes that run here on campus, and we have 11 express routes that run to and from campus. And then we have the light rail line. So all of these are available to you using the employee or student universal transit passes. This morning I came in to work on the Route 3, and it was packed with students. The Route 3 is a very popular route that goes from downtown St. Paul to North Loop. They also operate university service that just goes from the park and ride at 280 and Como to Willie Hall, and then loops around and goes back. So they have express routes. That would be the 3U that just serves campus, and then you have the 3A and B that go all the way from Minneapolis to St. Paul. Very popular route, very important route to the university. The other route that we want to highlight here is the Green Line, and that serves all the way from Union Depot, downtown St. Paul, to Target Field. So another important route. Route 2 will get you to Uptown and Midtown, downtown, East Bank and Dinkytown. So, this is another one of our routes that's very popular. And then there's other routes that we do not have listed here in front of you, but you can catch a bus from all the way down in Edina. You can catch the 6 all the way down in Edina. It brings you right to campus. There's a lot of routes like that, and a lot of places that you can find that information, and we're going to get you to some of that information here in a few minutes. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thanks, Larry. Good morning, everybody. My name is Lonetta Hanson. As Nick mentioned, I'm an assistant director here at Parking and Transportation Services, and I get to talk about the really exciting topic of the universal and employee transit passes. So the Universal Transit Pass launched in fall of 2022 with a lot of support from undergraduate student government. And then the Employee Pass was launched in the summer of 2023. And so those passes include regional bus and train, so all the Metro Transit bus routes that Larry just walked you through, all of the Metro lines, so green and blue, and the upcoming ones, all the bus rapid transit lines that Metro Transit operates, and then all the suburban transit providers. So Larry mentioned some of them: Minnesota Valley, Southwest Transit, Anoka Transit. It includes some of the North Star commuter rail. And then we also have a Metro Mobility program where we issue monthly ride credits at no cost to the employee and Universal Transit Pass holders that are registered for those services. And then one of the programs we really like to highlight that you have as part of the Employee and Universal Transit Pass is the Guaranteed Ride Home program. So that is where if you have an emergency and regular route transit service is not operating or doesn't go where you need it to, you can get up to $25 per instance 4 times a year for a total of 100. And as Larry mentioned, our regional network is pretty big. So there are 159 metro area transit routes that you have access to through the past programs. We have seen a 55% reduction in CO2 emissions over single occupancy vehicle trips that transit trips have replaced. And 76 cities within the Twin Cities Metro are served by the pass. So you might be wondering, am I eligible for one of these passes? So if you are an employee who is 75% or more appointment, it's included as part of your benefits package. If you are benefits eligible at the university, meaning that you have an appointment between 50 and 74%, we are able to opt you in for only $3.50 per paycheck. And then if you are less than 50% appointment, you wouldn't be benefits eligible. So unfortunately, you would not be eligible for the program. Students who are paying the transportation and safety fee are automatically opted into the Universal Transit Pass program, and they just need to activate the pass on their U card. But if you don't pay the fee, opt-in is available for eligible student groups who are not assessed the fee. So these are folks like students on scholarships, international students. There's just a wide variety of a way that people can be students here at the university. So how does opt-in work? So if you are 75% full-time, you opt in online and it's included in your benefits, so it's no additional cost, and then you receive an email when it's time to activate your pass on your U card. If you are 50 to 74% benefits eligible, there's also an opt-in form online. You authorize that $7 a month pre-tax payroll deduction, and then you receive an email when it's time to activate. So this is what the opt-in pass looks like. We use the university's Destiny One registration system. And please note, it's only required if you are not assessed the transportation and safety fee. So definitely check your student account prior to signing for the pass. But we do check for eligibility on PTS's end. So if you have paid the fee and you do opt in, we are able to issue you a refund.
All right, now I'll turn it over to John Mark Lucas, who's our transportation programs manager, and he'll be going over some of our transit trip tools that are available.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks, Nick. So as you heard, all of this is free. And my role here is just to help you understand more how your transit trip could be worry-free and as convenient as possible. And there's plenty of tools that we could use that help you achieve that. Most of you are probably transportation experts already, but just in case, there might be a few tools here that might be additional information for you. So the transportation program obviously has the tools from Metro Transit itself. You have the Metro Transit Trip Planner, which is available online. And it's also one of those things that you could use for buying a ticket if you don't have the transit pass, if you have family traveling with you. So This is also available on the app. So if traveling with your phone, you could use your phone, and there are tools here like buying tickets, like I said, and the tools page that lets you, if you click onto that, it will give you the trip planner option, and also finding the bus and the schedule of the routes. So if you click on the next trip, this is one of the things that's most useful if you already know what your route is and where you're going. The screen will tell you which stop you're at if you have your locator on, and then the next buses that would be coming there, depending on the route that you choose. And then also, if you scroll down, it actually gives you a live view of where the buses are. So in relation to your location, so you don't just have to look at the time it's coming, but you could actually see where the bus is located currently. Now, obviously, there are other tools that you could use that are more multimodal, and that includes the Google Maps, as well as for iOS devices, the Apple Map, the Apple Map device. And the thing is that this includes walking direction as well for you, so you could figure out where you're going. Now, in addition to this native apps, there's also bespoke apps that you could use. And one of them is the transit app. And this is a free app that incorporates all of the transit services in the area you're at. The good thing is also that if Larry talked about the Go for a Trip app, if you use one of these apps, this would show you, as in addition to the public transit services, our shuttle routes as well. So an example here is coming from downtown to the workplace, to the campus. So if you pick the route that you want to take, it will give you the routes and then information like, are you running late? You better hurry up, and are you going to miss your bus? It also helps you to know which stops you are at and when to get off the bus. So all in all, it's just another way to help you navigate the transit system and make you feel comfortable about not getting lost. So in addition to these apps, obviously, there's other things that are on the bus itself that would help you make your trip safe and convenient as possible. The first of this, obviously, is the bus driver. So the bus driver is there to help you. So never be, and never be, never hold back on asking for directions, from the bus drivers. They're there to help you make your trip as convenient and as safe as possible. Also remember that all the video, the vehicle has audio and video recording. So when needed, this could be used to assist any of the passenger needs. So the next one would be rider alerts. You could get this on the apps, and if you subscribe to text and email notification, you're gonna need this. You could use this as well. Like whenever we have route diversions on campus, these are usually advised on the apps, just like when we had the number 3 being rerouted around Washington Avenue. It's a good way to stay on top of the rider alerts. And also on the bus itself, you have visual indicators and also audio indicators telling you when the next stop is. And as mentioned previously, this is also available on the apps if you are tracking your trip yourself. Now, one thing that we are always aware of is that, the time on the bus is good, but just as important is the time that you spend on the stops itself. And sometimes this is unavoidable. So wintertime, there are heaters on the light rail platform. Some bus stations also have heaters, and these are features that are being expanded onto the BRT network. So we're glad to say that when Route 6 transitions to a BRT network, you're going to find this bus stops along 4th and University. And all it does is that it's there intended to make your, time waiting for the bus as convenient as possible. And then, of course, there's nothing that you could, that you could substitute for, actual personal interaction. So with this is part of Metro Transit's transit rider investment program. You probably have seen the blue shirts on the light rail station on the LRT vehicles. So they're there not just to check fares, but they're there to provide a more welcoming environment as well, and even to provide first aid and emergency if needed. Lastly, like Lonetta mentioned, things happen. And so the Guaranteed Ride Home program is there to help you, navigate these times when you have difficulty and you have to get home quickly. And you could, you could take a Lyft, you could take an Uber ride, or you could take a taxi ride, just so that you could get home as quickly as possible when you need to. That is it from my end. Again, appreciate the time that you spent with us today. The thing is, remember, there's plenty of tools out there that could help you, take the transit and be as comfortable as possible. Okay, Nick, up to you.
Yeah. So thank you all for that information. And thank you all for joining us today. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to us afterward at parking@umn.edu or visit our website at pts.umn.edu. And then we also recently moved our customer service operations to the UCART office in Kaufman, where we're happy to help with any in-person needs. So if you have any questions for us for now, feel free to put them in the chat or use the raise hand function. We've gotten a few throughout the presentation, so I'll kind of go through and moderate a little discussion here afterwards. The first question that we have in the chat is for Larry from Stephen, and he's wondering how many buses are active at any one time for the campus connector, and how about for all the routes combined?
Yeah, thanks, Stephen, for asking that. When we are in full service during the week from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., we're talking 10 campus connectors running. And so those buses, like I said earlier, those buses are 5 minutes apart. 10 connectors. We start the morning off with 2 university circulators, and those buses are leaving right now from Carlson every 25 minutes. Each bus leaves every 25 minutes. So the buses are they're around 12 minutes apart from each other in the morning. And then the 4th Street circulator, we have those buses leaving in the morning from Carlson 10 minutes apart. So there's 4 streets, 2 UCs, and then we swap that in the afternoon because the passenger loads are different. So in the afternoon, it swaps around to the university circulator every 10 minutes and the 4th Street about every 12 to 15 minutes. And then in the middle of all of that, from 7 to 3, the Dinkytown connector is just running just back and forth trips from Carlson, from West Bank to Dinkytown, back to Carlson, and so forth. The 120, which is the East Bank circulator, and the 124, the St. Paul circulator, that's just one bus leaving every 20 minutes. So hopefully that answers your question, Steve. Thank you for asking.
Thanks, Larry. Next question we have is for Lonetta. Cassidy is wondering how many people are in the 0 to 50. Oh, that activated Siri in my room. And Cassie is wondering how many people are in the 0 to 50% employee group and what are the barriers to including them in the free universal transit pass?
Okay, so I did see that question come through, so I ran some numbers really quick. I got a fresh eligibility report this morning.
Lonetta, I think your audio is really low. It's kind of quiet and muffled. Was it like that for anyone else, or is it on my end?
Can you hear me now?
I just barely. Is that happening for others? Yeah, okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and
Better?
clear
Okay.
now. Wonderful.
All right,
Thank you.
and somehow it changed it to some other microphone setting, so I apologize for that. So I did see this question in the chat, so I ran the numbers just really quick. We have 2,376 people in the 50 plus category. And in terms of barriers, we do allow them to opt in for a payroll deduction, which is the same as they would have to do for every other benefit that they get. So you have to be at 75% before the university contributes to your benefits. So the transit pass is, the same as any other benefit. It would need to be funded through a different funding source if we weren't having the employee self-fund it. And that's just how benefits work. So we're just offering a benefit. We don't really have a mechanism for changing how the benefits are in place. But we did work with payroll to get the payroll matrix built in up as quickly as possible. So we do have a handful of people who are opted in.
Awesome. Thank you, Lonetta. Another question from Bruce for you. Is there a discount for senior students? So students taking senior classes using the Universal or Employee Transit Pass?
There currently is not. Senior citizen education program participants are not eligible for the pass. And I think that primarily is because there is another Metro Transit product that already offers that benefit.
Yep, so if you go to metrotransit.org, they have a fares page and then there's information on senior fares there and they're heavily discounted. So I would definitely check that out if that's something you're interested in. Next question is from Stephen again, who says that Google Maps has live tracking for many Metro Transit routes. It also shows campus bus routes like the 121, but does not have live updates. Will these routes ever be added to live tracking in Google Maps? And I think I'm going to let Larry or Lonetta take that one.
Yeah, that's a good question, Stephen. I wish that was the case, but it's not. We use a different platform than what Metro Transit does, and so that's just not something that's set up right now. Do you have anything in addition to that, Lonetta?
I would say that there's a possibility for us to try to maybe see if Metro Transit service folks who take our routes and put them in there could maybe see if Go for a Trip could work with their system through an API. But yeah, like Larry mentioned, we don't currently have that. It might be technically possible.
Awesome, thank you.
Sorry, just want to add as well that there was also a comment there that you could get the live on the Trips app, because in general all this general transit feed are there's the GTFS standard which we adhere to, and in this case sometimes it's just the way it's being pulled by the other agencies, but do try the transit app. The other apps, there's another one called City Mapper. Since they are commercial, they are more inclined to make their own adjustments on their end to make it possible.
Awesome, thank you, John Mark. We got a couple questions about parking that I'll just cover really briefly. So from Bruce is wondering, when traveling to campus by car, is there a way to see which parking ramps are currently open, not limited to reservations only? And to that, I would say we're currently working on something in beta that would have that functionality that we're excited to hopefully have some announcements on in the near future. In the meantime, on our website, there's also a parking event calendar page where we list all university events that are causing parking ramps and lots and things to go into event only mode. So if you go there, that will also give you a better idea of what areas of campus might be busier or more free at a given time. And then he also asked, how can I get on the waiting list for the parking ramps in Minneapolis on the East Bank campus? So if you go to our website, if you just go to pts.umn.edu, click on Park and Drive, and then staff and faculty contracts, if that's what fits you, or student contracts, if that's what fits you, you can then log into your account and it'll show you a list of all of our facilities as well as the waiting list times and how long it might take. Back to transit. I'll let Larry and Lonetta take this one. Let's see, I think Joshua was wondering what the makeup of the bus fleet is, how many buses and who owns and operates them for university transit.
Thanks for asking this question, Josh. It gives me a chance to sort of tell you where we're headed. So currently, we are at the end of our contract with our current transit vendor, and that contract is being renewed starting July 1st. Um, in this current contract, the vendor brings the buses except for four of them that are university owned. Uh, in the future, we are in the process right now of transitioning into a fleet that is entirely university owned. It'll take 2 to 3 years to get that entire fleet into place, but we already have 8 new buses that are ordered that are we plan to see them arrive this year. We have another 10 buses that we're in the process of ordering. And so, to answer your question, in the future, the entire fleet is going to be owned by the university. We are really excited about the buses that we currently have on order. Gillig, who is one of the major bus manufacturers here in the US, they have designed a new generation hybrid bus that's called the eGen Flex. And a couple things to know about this bus. Number one, it has a diesel engine, but the engine is one that is designed to run, I think, 30 to 40% cleaner than what engines do currently. It is a bus that has a battery electric propulsion system in it, and that is charged by the diesel engine. So here's how it works. We would set up a geofence here on campus, and when the bus enters that geofence, it goes into electric mode and runs entirely electric, just like a fully electric bus. When it comes out of that geofence, it will charge the it'll charge the battery and then go back into electric mode when it goes back into that geofence again. We really are excited about this because it eliminates the need to have any kind of charging stations. We do not have to draw off of the electric grid because the vehicle will produce its own electricity and keep its own batteries charged. So those buses are ordered and on the way, and we are excited about that. Lonetta, do you want to add to that?
Oh, I think you're on mute, Lonetta. It's not coming through again.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just echo Larry's excitement. We are very excited. Allison and Gillig have been really good partners with us to make sure that it is going to work properly. And they were really excited. They did a demo for us on campus, and we were the first campus that they could actually show all phases of the process. So showed us getting the battery to 80%, showed us in EV mode, showed us going into start and stop mode, and then into full engine mode. So it's really cool. And I think the ride experience for the students who are using our buses is gonna just go through the roof.
Awesome. And Larry, I have a follow-up question just because I know you love talking about buses and their propulsion systems. Are there any efforts to transition the fleet into fully battery electric? If not, why not?
Yeah, we have looked into that, and that is something that we would like to do in the future. Unfortunately, that technology just isn't in place right now. Metro Transit has tried this and has run into a lot of problems. We were a couple times in negotiation with the major electric bus manufacturer Procellus, That company has since gone bankrupt. So the technology for fully electric, especially in our climate, is just not quite there yet. We hope it will be there soon. As a matter of fact, just this week, we've been in communication with a company that had some cutaway buses that are fully electric that they put into service in Duluth. And so we've kind of been watching how that's going, and I've been communicating with them. And unfortunately, just this week, I heard from them that those buses have had to be pulled out of service because the manufacturer just did not plan for what it takes to operate a fully electric bus in a climate like Duluth. So those buses we thought we had something that was going to be a possibility, and those buses have been pulled because the technology just wasn't working in this climate. Now, Lonetta, maybe you want to say something about MBTA?
Yes, I do. I saw that popped up in Joshua's chat. That's a good segue for us. So we do know that MVTA is operating some electric cutaways, as Larry indicated. We want to do some research with Luther staff and some other staff over at MVTA, get in touch with their maintenance technicians and see how their buses are performing and whether those are the same buses that were in Duluth. I would also say we had an extensive analysis done on our fleet composition. Sorry, my microphone keeps going out. Can you hear me now? Okay, great. And so it's not logistically in our best interest for our full fleet to ever be fully electric. So it's about like a 75-25 kind of split would be our ideal electric split. John Mark, your hand is up.
Yeah, just I know we're gonna go into the electric conversation here. Just on a side, while we are looking at difficulties with or challenging with the electric buses, I'd also like to add that we do have an electric vehicle committee on campus that's looking at the electrification of the fleet. And in fact, when it comes to large vehicles, we do have a couple of Peterbilt trucks that we are testing with with the recovery services over at Como. So we have those trucks, and we are testing large vehicles for electrifying our large vehicle fleet. So we would learn from that as well as what we do on the buses. So efforts are ongoing, just to mention that. Thank you.
Thank you, John Mark. I have three more questions I'll wrap it up with, and then we can go ahead and call it a day. The first question is, do any of the bus/train shelters offer free mobile device charging powered by the rooftop solar panels? The answer to that, and feel free to jump in, John Mark, if you know something that I don't, but not currently. And I think the big idea behind not having that at the moment is just because they don't want people leaving their devices behind on accident and then having to worry about getting reunited with those. And then another, just wanting to check, will travel on the new Metro Gold line routes be covered under the Employee and Universal Transit passes when that line opens in March? And the answer to that question, I believe, is yes. Finally, are there any long-term plans on expanding any of the existing light rail services? And I know that there's currently a major construction project going on that would expand the Green Line down to Eden Prairie, but I'm not as well versed on that timeline.
That line is expected to open in 2027. But there have been many construction delays along the way as the routing has been a challenge.
Yeah, with that, I think we're all set for questions here. So I'll pass it back over to Carly if she has any announcements to end off with. Otherwise, thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate being able to chat with you today.
Yes, thank you. Huge thank you to our PTS staff. This was so informative. I wish everyone who is new to campus could be forced to sit down and watch this. I think they might make some different choices with their commuting and transit options. So this is fantastic. Um, any other questions? Okay. And Kate Nelson says in the chat, and the blue line extension is under discussion. So lots of pretty exciting transit updates happening with our light rail and in other areas as well. If there
So
are, yeah,
just to add as well, and it's not just the light rail that we're talking about at this point in terms of improved bus services. There is another effort on hand to make the number 3 a BRT type of service as well. And that is going to, again, like Larry said, that's the highest ridership that we get, of students and employees to the campus. So that's going to be another major improvement as far as transit is concerned to and from campus.
yes. Thanks, John Mark. Before I get to just quick updates, any other questions for our PTS staff? Okay, awesome. Well, I will just very quickly share my screen again. Let's see here. So I was trying to find pictures of our electric fleet, our electric recycling trucks. Okay. So just a few things coming up. We generally run these coffee chats monthly, so keep an eye out for both March and April. Our March topic will be local climate action. We're working with some speakers from the city of Minneapolis, from some local nonprofits. Just trying to nail down a date and time, so keep an eye out for that one. I'm hoping to have that sorted in the next week. And then our April topic will be art and sustainability, and that will be on April 3rd at 10 a.m. That one I think will be great. We're going to see from some of our art students as well as art faculty, and how they kind of integrate sustainability and resource conservation into their work. I think that one will be fantastic. So keep an eye on our website, on our social media for updates there. Um, any other final thoughts or questions? If not, we can give you all a couple extra minutes back of your morning. But thanks again for our PTS staff, and this will be recorded and posted on our website if you'd like to refer back or share it with colleagues and friends. All right,
Thank you,
awesome.
everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.